Okay, so whoops. Okay, and of course, let's see. I want this to go over just a touch. Yeah, there we go. So we spent a little time last week. Hi, Emma. We spent a little time last week practicing kind of how to draw proportionally, right, with the cows. And so this subject also provides some nice chances for, here, for some reason, still tough to see.
My face. Why are you doing my face?
We will. You give me your little face, Inky, and we'll do it. Also, black cat's hard, but like,
I know.
Did you tell him that? Black cats are tough.
Well, but one of my favorite paintings I've done is of Inky. So
Inky is true. So he's like, don't tell me that. I know my mommy shows me it can be done. And here's the most interesting thing as we sketch across here. So I just drew. I have this in color, so don't worry. I've got this in color later before I mess it up. So I sketched the vertical distance just like we did last time. And then when I divided it in half, look, it kind of, this is the halfway point. This is equal. I actually measured to find the halfway point. And when I divided it in half, who remembers from faces what this seems to show? What's interesting about this?
proportion.
Yeah. And what are the proportions similar to?
Human face.
Yeah, they're similar to human faces. So for most human faces, if you do a halfway point from the top to the bottom of the head and you run it across the middle, the middle line, if the person is looking straight at you, should kind of run across the middle of the eye line. So the only other thing I want us to pay attention to when we're doing this is, let's see, this is 20, I think it's 9 inches. Yep, this is 9 inches. And, oh, it's a square. It's exactly 9 inches by 9 inches. So when you start to sketch this, you're going to want to come at an angle, right, like this. Let's see. And this doesn't have to be 9 inches, right? It can be whatever size this is. This size is, I can't read my 7.5 inches. Let's make it 8, just to make things even. So this is 8 inches, this is 9 inches. But as long as I find the halfway point, so the halfway point of 8 inches is 4. And then I draw, and then I draw this and make that 8 inches. I know this is the same distance as, this is the same distance as this. So when you're starting to sketch, can you guys see that here? Let me, all right. So those are the first measurements we're going to, before we start sketching in any more kitty, and just double checking here, 1, 2, yep. And this is about halfway. It's a little bit longer on this side. So it's not quite halfway. It's not quite 4 inches. It's a little bit less. And then there's another thing I can do here. I'm going to put up my camera. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
So you can see this part. So let's see if I can show this to you here. I'm just going to put this. Oh, nope. All right. Here. So I don't know if you got, nope. Here, hold on. What am I going to put up here? I have something. So if I want to check my angle to see if my kitty is at the same, if I've got this line kind of correctly angled, I don't know if you can see it. I've got my arm. So if you look at the screen on the right, I've got my arm straight and I've got my pencil lined up with my source, with this line at the angle. And without bending my arm, I'm going to come over here and see, does my pencil line up? I have to keep my arm in the same position. It does. So if you want to do that, you can do that to check angles of things. So here we go. I'm going to pull this off. Helpful to have this thing here. There. Okay. So my first, so I'm trying to get this up so we can get everything in. It keeps collapsing. So my first set of lines are these two. And also the other thing I'm going to do is take a picture of this, send it across the thread because it'll be easier to see. It's easier to see the red line. So I know we're sometimes using a grid, but my idea is to show you guys really how to measure things. Here, I'm going to do that right here. I want you to see how proportions work. I want you to start, it's harder, but like it's more honest. So Jean, do you remember any other rules of the face that might be helpful to us here? Give you a hint?
First of all, the eyes are always much lower than you think they are, which you've done by drawing it in. But,
Right, we've got.
But there's like 5 across the face is
the standard.
There's
I wonder if
5
that's
across.
true with animals.
No,
Now, we can't exactly, well, actually, that seems to be about right. It's about 5 across the face. What's really important here is that there is one eye space in between each eye. So when you mark that down, so when we mark this down, and then there's one eye space, you can see here, to the end here. So that's actually true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit less than one eye space because it's cut off before we can see the end of the space, but a little bit less than one eye space on this side. Mm-hmm. So when I'm dividing this, and I'm looking at this as well. So when I'm kind of dividing this, I'm marking 1, 2. I'm marking to see 1, 2. So if this is from here to here, I'm marking where I think the eye is on this side. And then I'm checking to see, is there one eye? Yes, there is. Okay. And that means there should be another eye kind of in between here. 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. I think we need to put a little bit more space than one eye length in between the eyes. It's a little bit, yeah. So you see how I'm starting to check. Whoops, where's my hand? All right, so when I come here, dang it, this keeps falling and I don't. Here we go. Stand upright so you can see. There we go. So as I'm checking, this distance and saying, actually, it's a little bit wider. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So it's a little bit more than half an eye space between beside each eye. It's one eye, one eye, one eye in between. So if you can see, I'm kind of testing my marks, my measurements to see, do I have kind of the eye in the right place before I start to draw it. I'm not sure how coherent that was as a as a phase discussion. So you guys tell me if it doesn't make sense to you. And then of course, now we can get into these shapes. Kitty meow meow. Does anybody watch BoJack Horseman? There's a police officer. There's a police officer cat called Meow Meow Fuzzy Face. Meow Meow Fuzzy Face. That's always what I think. So here are the next set of lines you're going to want to draw. Notice I haven't started. I haven't started Meow Meow Fuzzy Faces eyes yet. I've just kind of got them in the right places. Notice how thick the ear is on this side. Kind of comes almost really wide.
Now, did you measure to the top of the head? How did you measure that? Sorry, I missed it.
Because it's here.
No. I mean, like how many eyes, or did you do it by eyes?
Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't measure to the top of the head because I already have the top of the head.
Oh, okay.
By defining my halfway point here and here. So the top of the head is just at the top of this line here.
Okay.
And then meow, meow, fuzzy face right here. And then down here. Sometimes I find it easier to work. Wait, sorry. Sometimes I find it easier to work on the bottom here. So there's like the inside line of meow, meow, fuzzy face. And then there's this outside line. That's kind of his neck here. And then this is his. Now, because mine doesn't go all the way to the bottom, I'm just gonna draw a line here to indicate kind of where my bottom is. The bottom of my, let's see, let's do that. Because I've got more space here than this guy does. I'll just probably make this dark. And then, yeah, we can start looking at eye shapes. So cat's eyes are interesting because they are so curved. This cat has kind of distinctly two different, because we're looking at him at a slight angle. Oh yeah, and also we're going to want to check where his nose is. So let's see, is there any good measurements that will help us? Here's the halfway point. 1, 2, nope, down a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so the halfway point of these two, of this line and this line, you can see the nose is right below it. So if I find my halfway point, I don't have to guess on that either. If I find my halfway point on my nose, then I know that underneath it, my nose kind of starts right here. It's helpful to know these things. It's really helpful. And then I'm going to take these eyes sort of one line at a time. So it's kind of curved like this and curved like that. And then down into a point like this. And then out and curved in. So I'm not going to, you see, I'm really going to work on looking at the shape of that eye. And by the way, I'm not just looking at the shape of the eye, I'm looking at the tear duct as well. You know, this dark area in here. That's here. Is everybody able to follow along with this? Do you need more description from me?
I'm kind of getting tripped up on the same thing that I was last week. Like, I'm not sure how to measure the size of the eye when I don't have
Okay, so
the
remember,
print.
okay, so let me review that again. Once you get these two lines in, you've measured
Mhm.
those, right?
Yeah.
This line, these eyes, when you put it in, this eye is going to be, these are going to be the same spacing between them. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So and then on this side, it's about half an eye on either side of the cat. So I am going to start by like just giving myself 2 points that I think are where the cat's eyes are from here to here. So guessing which these ones are. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like this. And then I'm going to test and see if I put this in, can I fit 3 eyes in and then half an eye on this side and half an eye on this side?
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So it takes
Yeah.
a little finessing because you're right. Like, and actually, when I look at this, I should really bring this eye a little bit bigger. Right? This eye should be a little bit. So here I go. I drew the eye out, and Emma, I'm glad you said that because now I can check like the size of my eye, right? And be actually clear. There we go. So this eye needs to be a little bit bigger. So I just keep coming and I keep checking. Once I determine an eye size, then I check it and see, is there a room for 3 and then a half on this side and a half on this side? Does that make sense? And if it doesn't, then I'm like, okay, maybe I need to scoot it a little bit this way. It takes a little bit of finagling, right? You're kind of finagling the thing. But then, so everybody try that. Let's have you do that. And if you want to send it over to me, I'm going to do these as little stars. And send me a picture if you want to. And do you guys want me to wait a second while you all get your eyes in the order?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
I can do that. I know somebody's asking for the Zoom link right now. I honestly don't like.
Just go to Roaming Studio.
That's what I said. Just said go to the email or the link. I try not to answer those emails in the middle of a class.
People should know by now. You know what I did? I actually added it on my favorites.
Oh yeah, that's a great way to do it because it's the same. I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it simple.
Well, it's much easier now that there's one link for everything. Because
Right.
that was kind of making me nuts. But it's really, I just put it on a favorite and now I don't even have to like look for it. It's great.
Exactly. Let's see. Anybody send me anything? Okay, let's see. Jean, I need to see the whole face before I can't evaluate this.
Okay.
You need to step back so I can see the whole thing.
I just make very light marks.
No, I can't see the whole face. I can't see your whole drawing. So I can't see all your measurements.
Can you
need to step. Nope, not the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I just see about this much. So that's what I mean. Show me your whole paper. Something looks off about this and I don't know what it is. One.
Mine, and I'm always off.
Oh yeah, this measurement is wrong. This is too wide. So, but I'll really know when I see your whole picture. There we go.
My paper is 8 by 10 and it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
but
should
don't try to
measure
make it fit the whole thing. Just give yourself a border or something. I mean, otherwise your proportions are going to be kind of weird. Yeah, that's not right. Okay, so hold on. So one. Yep. Yeah, Jean, this is, yeah. So your cat eyes are everything's way out of proportion because this line is like 10 inches and this line is like 8. Both of these lines need to be the same distance. And then so if you can't end it, you just give yourself a border like I did down here and up here. Give yourself a border. Otherwise, that's just going to drive you crazy. Okay, let's see, Addie. 1, 2. Okay, Addie, these eyes need to be bigger. They need to come further this way. There should only be a half, if you measure, there should only be a half an eye length. If you can see here, you have a full eye length between here and the end of your face. So your kitty eye needs to be wider and it needs to come out a little bit longer so that when I measure from here to here, there's only a half an inch, half an eye. Same on the other side. So your eyes need to be bigger. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm very glad we're doing this. So send me over your kitty eyes when you've got them. And I'll try, I'm going to sketch them in, but then I'll be, and Addie, notice the different shape between one and the other. Yeah. See how this one has a little bit more of a straight line, straight up, curve down, up. They don't have the same shape. So try to reflect what's actually the shapes here more rather than doing what your brain wants to do and try to mimic symmetry. They're not symmetrical because we're not looking at this cat straight on. Looks like we are, but we are not. We're looking at him at a slight angle. Okay, let's see. Oi, silverfish, get out of the way. It's interesting what we think of as like round when you start looking at it, how much more angled it is. This will be the hardest thing you do, you guys. How's that? Getting these eyes in the right place will be the hardest thing. If you can get that, you can get anything. Notice, by the way, once you get your eyes in the right place, that if you're to draw a line straight down like this, that's really the edge of the nose. So the nose is kind of between these two lines. So I can draw a line straight down like this and know to put my nose. You definitely don't have it farther. Doesn't go out further and should reach almost to the edge. So there's a tendency to make the nose too small. So make sure you line it up. See that? Oh, you're gonna love me when it comes to face drawing. Although everybody, many of you here have come through it unscathed. So. Let's see. So Eugene, notice you made your eyes go in, you made your lines go in like this. So you've made your nose too small. That's not what's happening. Lines are going straight down. And Eugene, I cannot see, looks pretty good, but I can't quite see your full face. So you should give me the full picture so I can see. Also, Eugene, your nose is too far up the face. This is the halfway point. The nose comes underneath the halfway point. It's not right at the halfway point. It's a little bit underneath, a few millimeters. Sorry, I know I'm being like hard. But I want you guys to start to get how the two-dimensional plane works. This is going to be, it's going to make things so much easier as we do. And this is the brain thinking I think we all need. It's amazing how we do this, how we create shapes that aren't really there, how we change shapes, how we try to make them the same when their shapes are not the same. Human beings have a desperate need to find patterns when there is no pattern. And so I don't know why.
Are we painting yet?
What?
Are we painting yet?
Yeah, nope. Once you get the shape of the eyes, and I'll take a look as you're doing it, notice there's this very dark line and a triangle here that kind of comes around the whole outer edge of each eye. That's going to be important to get those in. It's a little thinner at the top, and it's a little thicker here.
I know they're still too big.
Well, just make them smaller then before you show me.
Oh, I didn't realize what I sent when I went, oh no.
What's that? Oh yeah, it helps when you take a picture and then you're like, damn. Yeah. So I like it. It's a lot of problem solving right there. Notice that the irises, or sorry, these little pupils are not, these sort of two curved line pupils are not centered exactly because the cat's kind of looking towards us. And notice that only one comes below the middle line. This one stays above it. Boy, Kat's eyes are intense. So intense. Let's see. Emma. Okay, so Emma, bring the nose down a little bit before the center line. Notice it's got and notice its shape. It's got a little bit more of this shape than a straight across. So, and bring it below the halfway point. 1, 2, that looks pretty good, girl. Yep, I think you're in good shape. Good job with the eyes. So bring your nose down, pay more attention to the shape of it. And then and then you can start to get in these details. Notice also, let's see here, there's kind of like a light and a dark edge of the iris. It's real easy to see on the right. It's kind of here. I don't know how much detail we're going to be able to get into here. It's a little bit, it's kind of around the edge. Just means that there's a slight shadow. Should be here too. So you can mark those down. As usual, I did not practice this because I was curious to see what the problem solving would be. I'm always surprised at what's actually the hardest part. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that was going to be the hardest part. And then once you have your like little kitty faces in, notice there's these dark shapes on either side of the kitty face that are kind of little darker. They're darker. You can really see it in here. Here, you can really see it here. See how it's kind of darker, little dark triangles here and here. They kind of come up on the edge of the nose like that. Triangle, triangle. Here, I'll take a picture of, I'll sketch these in and take a picture. Not exactly a triangle, but almost a triangle. Like 2 triangles, really, when I think about it. I think, can I show you that? Let's see. Here, maybe this is the best way to do it. I'm trying to sketch it on the, here we go. So it's like here, like there's a triangle here, and then there's a triangle here, slightly smaller. Here we go. All right, so I've just resketched it out in white so you can see them, kind of darky parts of the shape. He does look a little like Batman. Start getting in some of the details. He'll look a little bit more like himself. So see how I got these little triangles in, the white ones? Those are the dark shadows. So now I'm gonna kind of draw those in. And then this is like, this goes like that, kind of loosely. This triangle is littler because it's on the light side of the face. I'm looking for any more major dark and light areas. So there's a nice light area on this side of the eye, and it kind of comes up here and goes like that. There's a whole light area on this side of the face. It comes up much, it's more prominent. Now it really looks like Batman. Your cat really looks like Batman. And then down here, once we get our nose in, down here, we've got, it's kind of white here. and it gets kind of stripier. As we go out. So my thought, by the way, is that we would actually do a black and white sketch to start with, block in. And then we'll glaze it a different color, and then we'll go back in over kind of the other colors. I think these are the lightest areas of the face. Light and dark areas of the face that I've outlined. Everything else is kind of, there's a kind of light area here. If you want to get detailed, there's a light area around that edge of the face, also here. So really all around the eye is this kind of orangey light area. Important things. And then there's, I guess, a little bit of light. Kitty, kitty. Notice I'm not really dealing. And there's a little, we can see a little bit of dark where we can see part of the ear folded over. I'm not really dealing with whiskers and variations yet. I'm looking for major dark and light shapes. So let me take a picture of this. I also, by the way, wanted to let you know you could be kind of, if you want to play with color, you can on this one. We'll do a base as a black and white. I think that's the easiest way to handle it. But after that, if you, we can, I might try painting him the colors that he is, but if you want to, you can play with the colors that you choose. Again, like we did last time. How's it going, gang? Here, I'm going to take a picture of this just so you've got it. The sort of final set of outlines to get into your kitty meow meow fuzzy face picture. Has anybody seen, besides Jeet and I, has anybody seen BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, I love it, but it got so depressing. I had to stop watching.
It was pretty dark. It ended just like, oh. But yeah, it's kind of brilliant in its own. Is anybody ready to start? Well, I know you guys are still in the drawing phase. Sorry, I'm rushing it. I'll go get a cup of tea. I shall return. I just want to make sure. Anybody who's not doing this assignment, is there something you want to show me?
I'll send you when you get back from your tea.
Hi. Is that you, Marianne?
Yeah, hi.
Please. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I don't mean to sound like I just am, when I'm in the middle of teaching, it's hard for me to grab that stuff.
No, so stupid of me. I'm sorry.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi. Is that Dean? Oh, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Glasses. They're fabulous.
Aren't they fun? Yeah.
How's your new job?
It's good. Good.
Good. That's so cool.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm okay. You know, every day's the same. But other than that, no. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know if you know this guy, Chris Knipe in Reuters.
I might know him if I saw him, but I don't know the name.
Oh, you wouldn't have seen him because he works from home in God knows where, Kansas City.
Oh.
But anyway, his dog died, so I'm.
Oh,
So you're doing a thingy?
a little memorial picture.
Oh, send it over, please.
Oh.
Oh, Marianne, you're gonna kill this. You're gonna slay this one. This is exactly.
He put her down this week. I feel so bad for him.
Oh.
Oh, boo. Oh, Matilda. How old was she?
Oh.
No, I think she was old.
But she's beautiful.
She really is.
And
Look
I
at her.
liked black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's see. You know,
So
he does look like he's gonna murder you. You just got to live with that, Emma.
It doesn't look, it doesn't look like that as much though.
No,
Yeah.
Painting.
It'll have to do with sort of essential, some softness that we can get into. So, number one, you don't really have much on his mouth area. So see if you can get some of that jaw in. But just notice that's about it in how. Here we go. I'm going to send that over to you. Work in this area. This will soften things because there's a tiny bit of a smile here. Not really much, but there's a little bit of a smile, and that's what kind of de-intensifies the eyes. And mine looks a little murderous right now too, though.
Yeah, that's true. I gave him a smile and now he just looks like he wants to kill me. He's happy about it.
He looks like a sociopath. Good job, though. This looks great. Is anybody else ready to jump into starting the painting? Or do you want to wait a minute? I can wait. I can wait.
Start painting because the drawing can't get any worse right now.
Right. All right. So as usual, we're going to work with a bigger brush. And because this is a black and white paint, this is going to be a black and white base, which is something actually painters call a grayscale, meaning we're going to get, try and get some of the, in the block in, we're going to try and get some of these values in. And they make great bases. I don't think I've ever done one with you guys. So it would be really fun. So my suggestion, if you don't have black, which I don't, because I don't like black paint out of the tube, is to mix your own. So I've got a little bit of white here. I like to mix a kind of warm black using, if you've got black, you can totally use black. If you've got like black in a tube. Where's mine? I can hear you. Sorry, looking for my cadmium blue. Where the heck? is my, interesting. Hold on just a moment. Aha, let's see. Paintbrush is hiding there. Here we are. Okay, I like to mix ultramarine blue with burnt umber. It makes a really nice, I'll take a picture of it and show you here. I'll write it also on my thing. So this is one of my favorite, if I'm doing a black mix, it's very warm black. It's using kind of warm colors. So it makes this very warm black. This is ultramarine blue. You can also totally use black from your tube if you've got it. If you don't want to deal, you don't have to. Totally. Where's my burnt umber? Or you could use, no, burnt umber is probably better. The question is, where is my burnt umber? I just moved everything from I just got a new paint thing, which is really awesome, except that I can't find anything now. Titanium white. Where are all my colors?
It's a paint thing.
A tabouret is where I can store all my paints.
Nice.
But yeah, somebody gave it to me, but now I'm like, well, hell, I can't. I put half of the paints away. I did not put the other half of the paints away. Now I'm like, I know I have a burnt umber here somewhere and I have no idea where it is. Okay, because I don't know where it is, I'm going to quickly use burnt sienna. That'll work. It'll be dark. So you can use burnt sienna. Use burnt umber if you want a dark. So this is with my marker. Let's see here. Yeah, a paint thing, a paint thing. This is burnt umber or sienna. This is ultramarine blue. If I mix them together, I get a lovely kind of warm dark. That's kind of like a black. Yeah.
I join you with my raccoons.
All right, you'll finish those raccoons. Hello, Diana. All right. Notice I was using a palette knife to mix that. So I've got this pretty thick brush here. Oops, why am I not? Huh. Looks like this has frozen. Why? I'm going to remove the spotlight and put it back up again.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so
Oh, there's Leah.
yeah, no, I just got kicked. I actually like this about Zoom. I noticed that my camera wasn't working. So why am I still? There we go. So it says my network bandwidth is bad right now. All right, so keep an eye. So you want to use
That's insulting.
I know,
Why are
right?
you insulting your network bandwidth? Like, what the?
Well,
Yeah.
because my network bandwidth has issues, obviously. Look at that.
We all have issues. We don't need to insult each other because we have issues.
She's like, don't talk badly about the network bandwidth. Anyway, it looks like it's a little bit small for the moment, but we're doing it. So here's a pretty, here we go. So this is a pretty thick brush. This is a detail brush. This is almost 1 inches. I am going to pop onto, I'm going to add a spotlight. Cancel. Okay, so that you can see my paint set up here. So here I have my brush and my brush water. And down here I have like a paper towel. You could use a rag too, where I'm kind of getting rid of my excess water. Once again, I want a brush that's damp, but not like completely wet, because I don't want to be so drippy. Sometimes I do. So it's good to know. Sometimes I do. And then I'm going in with the darkest paint, and I'm going to paint in the darkest areas. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful dark. So I'm really going into these areas where I outlined. There's a little bit here and here, a little triangle under the nose. We've got that. We've got this, sorry. Notice I am doing the dark edges using, here, let me move this out so you can really see this. Come on. I'm using the kind of corner of my brush, so I have a little bit more control. I might not exactly make the lines as I want them to. That one's a little thick, but I'll be able to go over that on my top layers. So I'm not so worried about being perfect. I think that's what's really nice about an underpainting, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. And then of course, because you're not stressed out about it, sometimes you do really great underpaintings. Sometimes you can get a lot of great underpaintings. I can see that between these lines, it's also fairly dark. So I'm just going to go mostly dark up here. These lines I drew are kind of the, you know, those like streaky lights in between the darks. My brush is fairly dry, so I'm leaving a kind of scrapey texture. Yeah. I'm going around like the edges of the eyes, because I know those are light, or yeah, those are lighter. I'm going to come into, and notice as I come down, and so I'm not really going to try and do the texture pattern. I'm more looking at the dark that's underneath the pattern. I'm looking for is the darkest areas. And notice here, my brush is a little lighter because I have less paint on it. So I can go in here. Kind of cover. I'm not worried about the little dots. All of that stuff is going to come. Whoops, sorry. On the top layers, it does look awfully funny. I know that this corner underneath the kitty's chin is fairly dark. And then I'll just continue to darken all the way around here, down like this. So I drew in a little border for my kitty. I know it looks kind of sloppy. That's okay. So that's pretty much all the dark areas of the kitty, of Le Kitty. You might want to go, well, actually, looks like it's kind of, just got a big chunk of white on my hand. It's dark down here, and up here, I'm going to mix some white in to make a kind of light gray that looks light compared to the dark of the top of the kitty. There we go. So I just did that by mixing a little bit of white in. And then I'm going to go to the lightest areas of the face and just add a little bit of light. So down here, this can be, and it can be darker, a little bit darker. So down here, it's kind of lighter. In here, it's lighter, right? On either side of the nose. So this isn't totally white. This is white with a little bit of dark in it. And I can do the same here. Dang it. I might get booted off again. That's frustrating. I'd like this to be a little lighter. And I'd like this to be a little darker. So as I'm getting lighter to the lighter areas, the nose is kind of a dark medium. Oh, that's too dark. So see, I'm laying that in and I'm like, ah, that's too dark. Okay, I want this to be kind of a medium color. Getting to these fairly light areas of the face. Nope, that's way too dark. So see, as I can actually mix right on the canvas. If I lay something down and it's too, it's kind of looking cool, isn't it? Even in this weird sort of blocky kind of way. Oops, needs to be lighter. Even lighter. With acrylic, you have to move fast, right? If you want to maintain your lights and you're mixing on the canvas, you got to get in there, keep going back in and dipping into the right color. Value, I should say, and color. Yeah, I think that's a pretty, and then this is kind of light. This is darker. This little corner is darker. Do you want to get paint everywhere? And if I feel like this is a little bit too, there we go. The other nice thing about acrylic is that you can go darker. And would you say the eyes are, by the way, the lightest part, or are they kind of more of a medium?
Pretty light.
Yeah, they're
Except
kind of
for
on the
like-
light to medium side. Yeah, except for the shadow. Oops, that was way too dark. Here, let me just load my brush. Right. So you're kind of, except for the shadows, were you going to say?
Right near the pupil, it's a little darker blue there,
Yep, yep, yep.
or green.
And I kind of covered up my dark pupils, so I'm adding it back in. Yeah. On this corner, definitely it's darker. There's a shadow, a clear shadow, and then it gets quite light up on the top. So this is a pretty rough and loose. It's definitely not fancy. It's like, but it does look like Kitty, doesn't it? In this weird sort of blocky in way. We already have a fair amount of Kitty happening, which I think is kind of awesome.
Leah, I'm using literally Mars Black, and when I mix it with white, it comes out very green.
That's interesting. I don't know much about
I
blacks.
mean, it's a gray green, but it's definitely like the eyes are almost the right color.
Right. That's interesting.
What brand is it? And what are the
There we
pigment
go.
codes on
I
the
knew
back?
I was about to ask you to chime in. I was about to ask you to say what you know
Sorry.
about blacks.
I know a lot about blacks. because-
Liquitex Basics. I'll take a picture.
Oh,
I love how disappointed you sound. Oh.
I'm sorry.
So cheap, that Jane.
Take a picture of the back of the tube, please.
She wants to know what the pigment is.
Yeah, I mean, Mars
wants to know what
Black it should be just like a straight up like earth black pigment, which is synthetic
And
iron
if it's
oxide, really.
Ooh,
And
okay.
it's like a cheap pigment. It should be a single pigment, but it shouldn't be green.
Yeah, but look, does that not look green? The eyes? Look at the eyes.
Hold on,
it does.
hold on. I
Yeah,
am
it
trying
should not
to
be
not
green.
be
It
messy
does look
tonight,
green.
so.
It does look green.
I
Let's
mean,
see.
now the light I'm using is a full spectrum light, so that
Okay.
may be picking things up that.
No.
Hold
Shouldn't
on.
look
So
green. Oh yeah, that is green.
Adler.
Take a picture of the back of your tube. Oh, Adler looks really amazing.
Yeah,
Gosh.
the only
it's
thing
really
I'm
good.
thinking you need to do, Gina, with Adler. So there's a little trick they do with mouths where you don't really do teeth lines, but you do. Here, I'm going to sketch it in on this. I know I printed this out last night so I could look at it. Here, no, I'm going to need a very skinny.
Marianne told me to do. She's going to say Marianne told me to do the teeth.
Not all of, no, but I know you didn't say all of you. You told her to, his teeth do need to be grayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said to do. So here's what I was taught to do. Sometimes it helps. And that was absolutely the right thing. They were way too. So here, I'm trying to sketch out the shape. The shapes that are important. So here, hold on. No, that was the absolute right thing to do. As you know, come on. My art school graduates here, you all know you're right. You all know what this is supposed to be. So there's this top. Gina, I'm going to send you a picture of this top of kind of the line, the dark line. It's good to bring forward onto the top of the teeth. Here, hold on. For some reason, I'm really struggling to put words on things today. I don't know why. Here it is. So it's this like top little edge of dark that you can bring down where the gum line comes down a little bit. Really focus on that shape. Instead of, you don't have to bring all the lines of the teeth down. And yeah, when you look at it, his teeth, the teeth are quite gray. But Marianne, I think this is a good, I know Gina's not happy with it, but I think this is a really good portrait.
I do too.
I just think it's better than adequate or whatever it was you were using to describe it.
Did I? Oh, you mean Gina was using to describe it. I didn't say it was adequate.
Yeah. I know you liked it better than, I know you like, I know you can see this. And
I'm like trying to remember.
it's good.
Marianne is like, I'm mean to her, but not that mean.
Thank you.
Jean, I responded to your black issue in the thread.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird how it's turned green, huh?
It is weird.
Very green.
Do you think it's something in the
No, I think it's the paint quality.
the
I really
minx
do.
in
I
the
think
attic
it's
is a
just, I just
fox?
think it's a paint quality thing.
It's a pink, yeah. Which means they've mixed some other pigment in that
No,
probably
they
shouldn't
haven't.
be there.
It's not. It's a single pigment, which is not surprising because Mars Black is a very inexpensive pigment. It's very standard. I just think it's a paint quality thing. Liquitex Basics is, sorry, Jean, it's really low end. It's like a step up from craft paint.
This
Yeah.
was the first thing I bought, so I'm not
Yeah.
insulted.
Yeah.
No,
it's
she's
fine.
gonna cover it up with things.
With
So
other
my
liquid
advice is don't worry about it. Just go with it. It's not going to affect your final colors. You can still do all your values that you need with it and just have fun
I
with
think
it.
she was just observing. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? It's like kind of fascinating. You're right. So what that tells you is that black is, made up of other
Mars
things.
Black is usually not green like that. I use Mars
Yeah.
Black. I use black in my palette all the time. I go between Ivory Black and Mars Black, and you can't really tell it. Ivory Black is maybe a little more transparent and dries a little slower. Mars Black is a little warmer, I think, but then some people say it's cooler. So basically you can't really tell. It dries a little faster. I don't see a difference on my palette between the two. I use them interchangeably and neither one of them is green. So I think it might just be a paint quality issue.
Right.
But go with it. It's fine. Just it's fine.
Hey, don't make Jean feel bad about her paint quality. just like my poor bandwidth.
That you
Well,
shouldn't
the only
feel bad
reason
about.
I am gonna no, Jean, don't feel bad about your paint. Use your
Oh, I
paint.
don't.
But
Oh,
when you switch to a higher end paint, you might have to relearn how to mix. That's the only thing
If-
that I will
If you were
throw out there.
insulting my fancy pastels, I'd get pissed off because.
Oh
they-
yeah, hell no, we're not some definitely.
Oh, no,
not.
You
your
can tell my pink, oh,
your
yeah.
pastels, those are top grade.
Those
Your
are top
unisons
grade.
are like, those are handmade, beautiful.
Oh, I know, they're gorgeous.
That's why
wonderful, yeah.
Jessica traveled across the entire city
yeah.
to get them to you.
It was like 35 minutes.
And met the Russian met the
They were so
Russian
nice.
doll company.
Yeah, they
Fascinating.
were really nice.
What an adventure.
Well, it did end up at an art gallery. Your pastel box did end up in an art gallery, so there is
see,
that.
They wanted to go home. They were like, this
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
Your sanded paper is probably there too, if you ever want to check.
They only had one box.
You don't know. I had that. I got the sanded paper too. It was with it.
That's
Oh, okay, good.
fantastic. Oh boy. All right. So here is, as I just sent a picture across of the kind of rough, notice there's not, I'm really kind of blocking out the lights, the mediums, and the darks. So it should look pretty squishy. It's kind of a squishy painting, but interesting that it still is a little bit compelling even right now, isn't it? Like it's kind of got a compelling look to it, even in this rough, not like smoothed out stage. So I want you to notice that about this painting as we start to block it in. Let's see. Nice, Emma. Great. Get a little bit darker down here. That's looking great. Look at, you've already got cat. Although I hate to say it, your cat still looks like it's going to murder you.
Yeah, I'm worried that like people will come over and see it and be like, is that your cat?
That's the essence of a cat.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It is these little faces. That's what I kept seeing as these little faces were flashing by on this reference. For those of you who weren't here earlier, I was like, I belong to a Facebook photo like free photo site, like where photographers post their photos and painters are allowed to use them. So free reference site. And sometimes people will post requests, and I forget what the request was, but it resulted in numerous little close-ups of cat eyes like this, and a lot of them look pissed off. When you get up close to them like that, a lot of them look really pissy.
What website is that, Leah?
Oh, it's awesome. I will see. We're connected on Facebook, right?
I don't know. I'm never on Facebook, but
It's-
I'm on
Send it
Instagram.
to me, Leah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's a Facebook reference group where it's a photo reference group where it's all set up for photographers to share photography with artists. And, so there's no problems with using it. It's amazing. Honestly, it's just, there are loads and loads and loads of pictures. You can search it. I'll send it to you, but it is definitely a Facebook based group. So you've got to go on Facebook to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I think you'd really like it. I mean, still, you don't always get exactly what you want, but
But you don't have to pay royalties.
you don't have to pay, you're not going to get into trouble for using it. Marianne, are you doing any more of your weathermen?
I plan to. I haven't really been doing any painting. This is like the first time in a while I've been back in the studio, so.
Excellent.
Yeah, but I haven't yet. I sold one. Well, I sold two.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're-
they're great. I should buy one. They are actually
I
great.
sold them to my friends, but it was to benefit this scholarship fund of this class I took. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. They're really fun. If you guys haven't seen them, I will send you the link for the last Reuters show. Marianne is one of our secret Reuters artists. So is Gina. So is Jessica. So is Diana.
You stop telling everybody, you ruin the secret. It's a secret.
I know.
It's secret.
The secret. Anyway, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to keep it a secret. You guys are too damn good. What can I say? I can't like keep it a secret. How good
Ooh,
you
we
are.
like to be stealthy secret.
Stealthy secrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody, Paul Manassian was asking, who's one of the LA Press Club people, was asking about you, Jessica, and I was saying, because you're giving this talk next week on perspective, and I was saying, oh yeah, she's graduated from art school. He goes, does she work as an artist? And I said, yeah, she works as an artist. I feel that you work as
You
an
do?
artist, although you work.
Oh, I'm always out working.
You're working all
it's
the
like my
time.
unpaid job. It's my
Right.
unpaid job.
And Marianne, that
literally.
is true about you too. You have a studio, you're working regularly, you have an art degree, you're using it. Like they may not, you may not be making your main money that way, but that doesn't mean you're not working as an artist. So
Oh,
anyway,
I'm
I
very
was
much
just
working.
clearing
I
that. I
gotta
was just
figure out how
clarifying
to
that.
get this job to pay for itself. Like seriously, this is like my biggest unpaid job.
Oh, there are ways to
Ridiculous.
get it to pay for yourself, but it'll take all your time to figure out how to get it to pay. Like when
That's the
you're
problem because I have the job that does pay for the stuff. So
right. Yeah, it's really just a choice. Yeah, it's just a
And
choice.
then you have to
it's a
start
heck of a lot
painting
of work
things
though.
that you're not really interested in.
That's
I
true.
won't do
Some
that.
days
No,
you
I
have
won't
to do that.
I won't do it. I won't do that
Yeah.
because then it'll be a
mean,
crap painting.
I don't
That
know.
destroys a
Even the
good
things I
hobby.
don't like, to paint, I get tired of. There's still some sense of challenge. Even that damn dog painting, dog and woman, even that damn dog and girl painting I showed you guys, I still liked doing it. I liked doing it. It was, yeah, it's nothing. And right now, as I said, I'm doing this really fascinating commission to paint this underwater city. It's in a
That's
video that these
cool.
people, yeah, it's really interesting. Wait, hold
Hey,
on.
what happened with the huge wall mural, Leah?
The wall mural.
The one
Oh,
where you're gonna go to the house and do it?
yeah. Oh, yeah, that just hasn't happened yet. We're just waiting. I think they're kind of waiting for me not to be so busy. Jean, nice. Very nice. Yep.
Thank you.
These are looking great, aren't they? Aren't they looking great, you guys?
Even if it looks green.
Yeah, looks good.
It's a sick kitty.
He says, no.
Oh,
The great kitty. And this is nice because we can really focus on, now that you're starting to lay the paint down, I can see that you're starting to get traction with this painting, right? Even though it's very rough. Notice what happens when we just pay attention to the large and smaller light and dark shapes, right? Just getting those in, it's like looking at a cat while squinting. That's what we've got right now. And that's kind of neat. It's still got traction. It's kind of cute, focusing on the closeness of these. All right, so now I'm going to go get tea, which I got distracted. I got distracted by all the great conversation. Hang on.
The hands of a raccoon looks like they belong to a bat.
But that's true though. They definitely do look like that. I am very scared of raccoons.
God, so am I. Like,
I have a pet raccoon. Well, he might be dead now because it's been a while, but I have a pet raccoon that lives in Central Park because he kept coming right up to me while I was out painting, and I was up at the
Wow.
reservoir, and he just kept coming back, and he'd be like right at my feet. He's huge, and everybody would come up to me and they'd say, "Don't freak out, but you have this huge raccoon right at your feet." The second time it happened, I said to the people, I said, "Yeah, I know, he's my pet."
Is that the squirrel?
No, this is my pet raccoon. And I named
Oh, you
him
have a pet
Francis.
raccoon too. Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica, you're a
Yeah, I do.
Doolittle
I have a
of New
pet.
York. You're the Doolittle of New York. All right.
Yeah.
So once you have these basics laid out, I want you to pick a color. I want you to pick any color that you like to do a glaze. So we need to wait until our paintings are dry. Mine's almost dry. I'm going to pick Oak Hill. I'm going to try something. I'm going to get sort of wild and crazy. I'm going to pick ochre, yellow ochre to glaze with. I know normally you glaze with a dark, and for those of you who don't know what glazing is, don't worry, I'll tell you what it is. In the meantime, I'm going to say, I know that while one normally glazes with dark pigment colors, I have had a lot of fun with glazing with yellows and ochres lately. It creates a kind of mistiness, and I don't know, it's really neat.
I'm glazing too, Leah.
Yay, we're all glazing.
Yay.
So glazing is my favorite technique of all time. I love it. You can use it in oil. You can use it in water. In acrylic. You can use it in oil. This is yellow ochre right here. And I've got this down here so I can really demonstrate it for you. And and you can glaze over and over and over again in a painting. And what's really awesome about it is that glazing creates textures that it does a kind of unification of all these different blocky substances, and it also creates texture. Some of it you want, some of it you don't want. The big thing about glazing is you can't really control it. Like what it does, you're never really quite sure, although you get a little bit better at it. You can glaze parts or a whole of a painting. I'm going to actually get a paper towel. Hang on. And it's really what it does is it just, as I remember I don't know if any of you read sort of youth sci-fi. There's a writer named Maggie Stiefvater who writes sort of YA. She's one of those like best-selling YA teenagers turned into werewolves, turned into witches, turned into crows, like whatever magic books like that. And she signed up to do a class with me when she was on a book tour for one of her books in Portland. And she's quite also an accomplished painter. But when she came to the class, she works with colored pencils, but she didn't really know much about painting. But she's really skilled artist as well, visual artist. And she said, "Oh, it's like doing like a filter on your camera." So that's a little bit like what glazing is. I'm about to demo it for you. So here, I'll put up my other.
it's acrylic?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody wants to, whoops, nope, I don't want to replace that. I want to add it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so here's my water. Here's my, whoops, here's my water. There's my water. Now, instead of wiping off my water, I want it to be quite drippy. So if you come over here and you look on the thing on the right, the left, you look at the picture on the left, you'll see that I've got a lot of water. In fact, I'm going back in to dip again. And I do not have a lot of paint on my brush. I've got more drippy water on my brush. And what I'm going to do is go over the whole thing with this watery color. So the glaze, it's called a glaze because we can see through. The paint isn't covering up what's below. We can still see through it, like through a tinted window or like, and notice what it does to the painting. It does kind of neat things, doesn't it? All of a sudden it kind of deepens and enriches certain areas. I'm probably going to keep a lot of this as I go through. Here, I'll remove my oops, go away. Where are you? Okay, here, hold on. I think my mouse pad is dying. So it doesn't like to, wait, dang it. The spotlight. All right, so there we go. So you can see it's got this kind of, and I'll go sort of go again. It's changed things. So it's sometimes it can remove paint if you get too aggressive with it. So I'm going to keep this here. And when I go in with my top layers, and I can go right in, I don't have to wait till this dries. I have this texture I can already play with. So here is Kitty in color. You can stick with the colors of Kitty, or you can play with the colors of Kitty. As long as the lights and darks are the same, it could be any color. You can make this her blue and orange. You could try and stick with the regular colors. So to me, I see burnt sienna and white. There's a little bit of pink and red in here, pink and yellow ochre in here for the nose. So let's see, if I was going to do a palette, I think what I'm going to do is get a new piece of palette paper and set up a clean palette. Actually works. So I'm going to put the palette over here actually as I look at these colors. If I'm looking at these colors, I definitely see sort of burnt umber and burnt sienna. Sorry, ultramarine blue. I see ultramarine blue and burnt sienna for the darks. I definitely see yellow ochre. I see a little bit of quinacridone red, which I'll probably mix with yellow ochre. And that green is going to be a really interesting color to mix. There's definitely white in there. Here, I'm going to scoop up some of my white and put it over here. And we might as well start with Viridian green because that's always a good place, almost always a good place to start. I wonder if we're going to need more colors than that.
By the way, Viridian Green is on backstock at Blick.
Oh, they're out of it, huh?
They're out of it.
What
'cause I had
brand?
to order
Get a
some
different
stuff.
brand.
I know, but it was, my cheap ass Blick stuff.
Oh, okay. Did you try the Blick brand? Because they have good prices too. And they
Yeah.
have a student line.
All right. So the colors I have up here. Oh, yeah. Color is better. Color quality is better than it was. I'm going to write this down and send it across as always. So we've got ultramarine blue. I have burnt sienna. I've got ochre, yellow ochre. I've got a little bit of quin red. I've got viridian green. And I've got white. That's what I'm going to stick with for the moment. I'll take a picture of this so you've got it. Oh, yeah, nice, Jean. It's looking really good.
I use blue.
Yeah, I like it. It looks cool. It's doing interesting things.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here, I'm going to pull this down so I can, don't fold over. Here. There we go. There's your palette. I think the basic palette if you want to work with these colors. And if you want to start with those eyes, go ahead and start with those eyes.
That's an olive that you have? Or-
Addie, that
Okay.
looks great. Look at this. Addie's, I had to use her a different phone. Look at Addie's here. That looks amazing.
That's very good.
It's turning out well. You must be very pleased, Addie. Great work. Sorry, ask that again, Emma.
What's a good replacement for ochre?
What yellows do you have?
I have cadmium. I have both deep and medium cadmium. I have primary.
Try cadmium deep.
Okay.
That might work out okay.
Thanks.
And the interesting thing about this green, let's see if we can try to mix this green. It's, I'm going to put a little bit of red in with my green. I'm going to start with that. So I'm starting by mixing, darn, here it's hard to, here I'm going to mix first so you can watch a little bit. I'm going to mix green with a little bit of quinacridone, and then I want to add, to cool it off a little bit, and then I'm going to add white to it to see if that gives me the color I'm looking for. And now I'm going to add a little yellow to it. I don't know. All right, I'm not sure about that color. I don't know if I like it. So I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm going to try viridian green and a little bit of burnt sienna. That might give me, so I'm mixing in a little bit of red because I want to dull the color. I want to neutralize the color a little bit before I add white to it. I heard that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
what that-
maybe I think that viridian green, burnt sienna, and a little bit of your ochre or yellow and white should make an okay green base. I tried quinacridone red, and I think that's a little bit. And if you want to, you can go to a smaller brush. For the eyes, you can totally go to a smaller brush.
Hey, Leah, could you repeat those colors to make that bluish green for
Yep.
the eye?
Yep. I'm going to say viridian green and burnt sienna, and then a touch of yellow ochre, and then add white to it to lighten it.
Is there something else I could use for burnt sienna? I don't have it.
Do you have burnt umber?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
What colors do you have?
Well, for oranges?
Yeah, for reds, really.
Oh, reds. Okay. I've got a natural red light.
Yeah, not that one.
Alizarin crimson hue.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Cadmium.
Try cadmium.
Red light. Cadmium. Okay.
Try cadmium and see what happens. It might look a little bit more khaki, but I think that will work. And I kind of like this color. I think it's a good base. Now notice I'm going a little bit darker. I'm going to mix more green and orange for the shadow down here. So there's this shadow in this corner that's definitely darker. So yeah, let's look at the eye for a second. This eye has a shadow that's dark. And then as you move up, it gets lighter. So I add more white to my mix as I come up here. And then you'll notice right around the iris, if you're looking really closely, it's a little bit darker. So you mix a little bit of green and red to come in here, be a little bit darker around the iris. So just notice the shifts from light to medium to dark happening in the eye. I don't know if you guys can really see them. There's a big one here. And these are mostly, by the way, soft edges. And then I'm going to go in with my pointy brush.
My
Mix a
cat
little.
keeps trying to step on the cat. I feel like she's feeling competitive.
Oh,
All right. No.
kitty.
No, 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 no.
And then I'm mixing in ultramarine blue and burnt sienna to go, and I'm taking a pointy brush and I'm going back over and creating that dark outline around the edge. So once I've got the basic green in here, I'm getting that Cleopatra line. It's pretty thick here. It gets thinner up here. And then I noticed there's this kind of gray area in between the dark. Can you see it? It's like right in here. There's this gray area. So I'm going to get that by mixing ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and a little bit of white. Yeah. I might add a little bit of my green mix in to all, but it should basically, it's very blue. So now I'm adding in the blue kind of lightish gray here. And then I'm going to go back in and add in my very thin dark line here. Now notice I made it a little bit too thick. Well, I don't know, maybe not. If I want to thin that out, I can go in with some of my gray, which I just mixed over the top edge here. See how I can cut that back, but I can still see the line. So there's, let's get this. We've got this dark, we've got this kind of greenish center that's fairly white. And then I went back over with the dark. You can use your black or you can use your mixed black. Right edge here. Brought that all the way in and around. Notice it kind of goes out like this. I could go back in over my, I notice I had my iris in a little bit of the wrong place, so now I'm putting it in the right place. And I'm going to go back over with some of my green. So look at how easy it is to erase with your paint. Here, I'm going to mix more of my green color. There we go. Might have used a little too much. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. See how I can just kind of go in and paint out my dark. And then the very last thing I'll do is go in with my white on my pointy brush and drag in a few of the reflected edges. Now all of a sudden, my eye starts to look more alive. I can still keep going back and forth if I'm like, oh, I want this, I want to change this, I want this grayer, right? I want this a little bit lighter. Notice you don't need very much white.
Is that being heard somewhere?
Addie, is that happening in your house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
Siblings are watching movies and just other loud sibling noises.
Oh, how many siblings do you have?
Three
Oh,
other siblings.
I'm so sorry.
So.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Sort
but
of.
she gets to escape from them by painting.
That's right. Are you
You're
the,
the smartest
oldest
one.
or the youngest?
You're the
Well, I have
smartest.
one older brother, so,
Okay, so you're in
I'm
the
the second
middle.
oldest.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
lot of siblings.
Yeah.
Your mom does a good job of keeping an eye on you. Oh, Diana, geez. They're so cute. Sorry.
Yeah, but they are trouble.
They're trouble. No, they're not that bad. That looks great, by the way, Addie. They're looking great. What's problem with them?
Look at those strange feet.
Just glaze over with a blue or a purple to push
Yeah.
back and
Okay.
then pull in the highlights.
Okay.
They actually look better than you think. So you just need to kind of, you've got your lights and darks pulled out. Now you need to neutralize a little bit.
Okay.
Oh my
I
God,
can-
Diana, they're lovely. This is what we did in beginning drawing on Saturday. Most people did a sketch. Whoops, here, hold on. Most people did a sketch like this. Diana did them in paint. Isn't that just
Oh, I love it.
stinking cute? Yeah. That's really cute. That's up on the web. That's up on the that's already up on the YouTube channel, so you can totally go find it. And by the way, how is this going? Is this mixing working for people? Is the brush work clear? I can go with on the other eye and kind of work it again just to like review. Would that be helpful to talk about brush strokes and all that stuff? If you would like me to do that, I will, or if you're just on your way.
I'm on my way.
All right. I know. So ask me as you're going through this, if this is feeling hard. So when you're dealing with the fur, as we're getting in here, I'm going to get in some more dark. I kind of lost some of my dark here.
Oops.
I've lost a little bit of my dark, so I'm kind of pulling it back in here. So it's really soft edges where light meets dark. So on your fur, you can take a kind of bigger brush. This isn't actually the biggest brush. I'm mixing my same base that I put on the first layer, kind of burnt sienna and burnt umber, coming in and darkening. And then I'm adding a little bit of ochre to that mix, that same dark mix. I'm adding ochre and a little bit of white to get a lighter color. Well, is that what I want? Maybe not, too gray. Never mind. Well, in some places it'll work. I think in the stripes it'll work because the kitty's a little bit more gray in the stripes. But you'll see that where a light area meets a dark area, a light edge meets a dark edge. So I've got one here, I've got one in here. Now I'm going to create, now I'm going to take one of the colors and kind of tap in a soft edge where light meets dark. Now I know there's a lot of light dark edges here, so you may spend, we may not finish this in time. But you can see I'm kind of pushing into the light with my dark. I think it helps to have a flat brush here. And I've lost a little bit of the light, so I'm going to bring it back in. I'm having some success by mixing ochre, burnt sienna, and white for the light. There we go.
Nope, go away, kitty cat.
Oh,
Kitties, they always want to be in
the middle of it.
the middle of it.
I don't want her stepping on my wet painting.
I kind of like this look. I have a kind of raggedy flat brush. And you can see that besides the tapping, I'm kind of pulling up into the blue, into the dark mix, into the dark edge. And maybe doing a little, keep getting white light on the brush and doing a little bit of a dry brush into the dark, maybe a little bit like how we do trees. So can you see how I'm like creating these soft edges? And when I get too crazy with my light, I can come back in with the dark.
Sorry, I was still concentrating on the eye.
Uh-huh.
Are you just using black basically?
I'm using my black mix.
Okay.
Good question. I'm also towards the top here where the dark little hairs are meeting the lighter background. I'm kind of using the edge of my brush to scrub in to the top here and create a soft edge that way. Can you see how I'm kind of furring? Oh, I can see we've got here, let me move this over a little bit. So here, that's a little bit better. I really would prefer to have my burnt umber, but I just don't know where it is right now. Okay, anyway. Tap, 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 tap. So I'm kind of doing a little tapping up here to create this sort of fuzzy edge.
Ouch. Yeah, I think that was a good advice, actually.
Yeah, usually when you have to push the lights and the darks forward, you then then you don't want so much attention to be there, right? You want it to
No,
be
it
elsewhere. So
works.
just,
Now it just has to dry. It worked.
Yeah.
So
good, good, good. I'm glad. It's funny to see the cat start to emerge with the eyes. And as you notice here, I'm starting to work around the edge of the eyes, and then how loose and rough it is. So now I'm taking a little bit of liberty. I'm using in my mix, it's a little bit hard to see here. I'm using, it's less light and more orangey. I'm using a little bit more burnt sienna in my light, which I would highly encourage you to play with if there's colors you want to blend in here. Hey, if you want to make this cat blue, you could do this all in blues, except for the green eyes. It's really wild.
The green eyes must be green.
Holy darn. Oh my God. We are okay. We're almost at like 8 o'clock. We've gone 2 hours. So what I want to do, we're going to go about 20 minutes longer. I want to make sure I at least go over all of the things. Sorry. So you guys, this is just a painting that takes longer than 2 hours to make.
oh, Jessica, how beautiful.
Thanks. She's getting there.
Let's see. Oh, is this your
Wow.
copy?
I put this second, yeah, I put the
Ah!
second glaze layer on. She took a week to dry, like an
Wow.
entire week. And so I switched my medium to Galkid gel because I was using the Gamblin solvent free, which I use normally, but not, I think, in the proportion I'm normally using. It really took forever to dry.
But it's
I was hoping she'd be dry by
beautiful.
tonight. So I'm doing an Alkyd. I'm hoping it's going to dry a little faster. Yes, she's. I have a lot of work to do on her. But thank you.
Oops. Hold on. So we have a couple of choices here. I'm glad I learned this about this painting. It didn't seem like it was going to take that long. We can stop right here and we can pick this up next week, or I can go about 20 minutes longer and try to show you everything and have you guys finish it on your own. You tell me what you want to do.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Okay, all right. It's the drawing. So, it's the drawing that's taking everybody. The drawing is taking a long time, but I will keep this in mind as we go forward. All right, so hang on just a second. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's do some more work. So I know this little nose. Let's see, what can I get from this little nose? I'm thinking a little bit of quinacridone red, yellow, and then maybe a touch of blue. Let's see what I get when I, oh, nope, way too much blue. Okay. Yellow, red, white. Okay, so if you just kind of mix a basic, I'm going to show this to you in the mix so you can see it. So for the little nose, which is pink, if you just use white and like quin red and red, you get something that looks like a flower. It doesn't really look like the nose color. So what you want to do is mix a little bit of red and yellow together, or your yellow ochre if you've got it, or yellow deep or whatever you've got. And then you want to put in just a tiny little dot of blue. And then add white. If you add a little bit of blue, you don't need very much. You have a color that's slightly muted, so it's not so like Barbie Dreamhouse pink, right? We don't really want a Barbie Dreamhouse pink. We want this nose to be a little bit more flesh tinted. So I had some luck with a cool red with quinacridone red, yellow ochre, a touch of ultramarine blue, and white. Let's see how that looks on here. And the reason I came up with that blue is that it's like a, yeah, that's pretty neat actually. I know it's hard, yeah, as usual. Zoom is failing. Here, I'm gonna put in a little bit more white here. Yep, not bad. And then on this side, it's lighter. So I'm using a little bit more white. In fact, it's quite light. It's like almost white on this side here. And then I mix I take some of my dark to get in here. Come around. The dark is you know, the nostril, the inside nostril, and also that little cute triangle point that makes up the nose. And then there's like a little space and there's a little bit of dark there. Whoops. And if I need to sort of trim this in, I can. Yep. I'm going to go to my big thick brush to use kind of white for the, oh, it's got pink in it. You might have to clean your water. I'm going to go clean my water. Hang on. Okay, so this is just. Addie, that looks great. Just don't forget to keep getting your darks in here. See, it's very heavy dark in here, right? That's here. So make sure you get your darks back in. You don't lose your darks, but it looks really good. Good job, you guys. Killing it. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else I can go over. Whiskers, you're going to want to do using this method. If you remember correctly, remember from before, wait here we are. See how I have gripped just a few bristles from my big brush between my thumb and my pointer finger, like this. And I'm going to dip that in my white. But the idea is I don't have as much control, so I'm not going to be doing such, you know, strong marks. So sort of uniform marks. You don't want your marks to be uniform. So see how I can lay the whiskers down like that. So this is how you want to use that. Of course, you don't want to do the whiskers until the very last, but I'm just showing you like up here, right? See how that makes a really nice kind of uneven line? At the very end. So you want to use that for this. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can get in some more. So yeah, so Addie, I like your blue, but don't forget that down in here, it's darker. It's way darker. So you want to make sure you get it dark down here and then add a little bit of light to your brush to get the light on the side. So I made it dark here so that when I go in and use my, I think it was yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and white for my light mixture shows up. See that? Really clearly. So notice I'm not painting every fur, every little bit of fur. I'm really paying attention to where the fur meets another edge. Gosh, I'm almost thinking I should just like for tomorrow's class, I was going to do something similar. I should just do the eyes. So, because this is hard. It's hard. You know, you want to finish the painting. I'm sorry to leave you guys with an unfinished painting. Although it is good for you to have projects to work on in between, but still, I don't like leaving you not finishing it. It's interesting how little. So as you're laying your top layers, don't forget to keep your darks in. Because you're putting your light layers in, don't forget to keep your darks in, your lights in. Let's see, I'm going to put my lights in everywhere. That'll be one of the last things I'll do. This is a totally fun painting. I assume you're all having as good a time with this as I am.
Leah, I think he looks like the Cheshire Cat, like your painting in particular.
He is a very Cheshire-y. Yeah, well, look at him, though.
I love the Cheshire Cat.
Yes.
Oh, dang. I love him.
Yes. Here we go. I'm bringing in, this is mostly white, but slightly tinted color. And then down here, it's really white. See the difference? That's kind of what's happening down here. So I'm doing a kind of a draggy little move with my brush here. And then also down here to get my whites in. It might be too light. Go in with a little bit of darker color. Yeah. Yep, needs to be darker.
I'm gonna join you tomorrow and try to finish these.
Okay, these guys, the
Yeah.
guys.
It improved the feet a little bit doing what you told me to do.
Good. It's good to kind of sit.
Yeah. So I'm not done, I have done the whiskers, but I'll finish tomorrow and work on the tree too.
So you notice, and by the way, guys, all right, Diana, I think you're doing killer. I love it.
Thank you.
I'll
see you tomorrow.
Yes, see you tomorrow. So notice, guys, I've added the mouth back in, made it a little bit stronger. So as you kind of add elements in and out, I'm going to take my, let's see, adding in the whiskers. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. If I had another hour, this would be great. We'd be able to finish this. Notice how I'm adding in the whiskers in dark. Here. Notice how they start at different places. So I'm using a little pointy brush for that. I'm not trying to do it necessarily all as, like these are more, this is more like a kind of a wavy line than separate whiskers. So see how I'm laying that in. Then I'm going to go over with light again and kind of brush over the top. Yeah, this was hard, you guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I like what you're doing, but I'm sorry this was not something we could finish quickly. I've learned. So I'm going to give you another option. So we'll have options next week. If you guys of course, can work on this on your own and see if you can finish it. If there are questions that you have about it, and you want to work on it again, at least for a little while, let me know and I'll schedule that in at the beginning of our next lesson.
Can I send you what I have, Leah?
Yeah, Absolutely, please.
So I've just been working on the background because I want to paint the dog over the background, but there's a lot of subtlety in the image. So
Let me see. Please.
you want me
Jessica,
to,
that's amazing.
do you want me to resend the source image?
No, the source image I've got. Just send what you've got. Oh, ooh. I love that. It's like he's got a little halo around him, like a little aura.
Yeah.
That is working. That is really working. Lovely.
Kelly's at a window.
Oh, look at that.
Is it cheesy?
It's not cheesy. It's
No.
beautiful. Are you
No.
kidding? It's beautiful. Hey,
I have
Jean.
some purple on the palette, and I thought that would be a nice base under the black of the dog, so I added the purple.
I love that. So look at you guys, what Marianne's doing to build up her base. She's starting with something, this is a black dog, right? With lots of blues in it, actually, as well as other colors. But she started with this pinky purple base. It's going to look amazing. It's going to look really, really great. I'm glad you're doing this so people can see how you layer color. And you know what, Jean? Really good.
I'm still working on them, but
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. You're doing great. Why doesn't everybody else send in where you're at right now? Okay, yes, Addie. Oh yeah, Addie, that's looking great. Looking awesome. I think you can finish this. I have faith that you guys can finish this. If not on your own. Ooh, Eugene, nice. 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 Oh, Emma, wonderful. He still looks like he's gonna kill you though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what part of it is? If you round up this a little bit, if you take your dark line and you round it up, he will not look so much like he's going to kill you. You've got,
It's so cute.
well, if you want him to kill you, you know, look like that, you can just keep him as your killer cat. These are great, you guys. These are awesome. Oh my God, I love it. I feel like I pushed us a little beyond like our time, what we could do in our time limit, and I'm completely impressed. Okay, Jessica says, keep in the murderous look. Anyway, if you want to remove the murderous look, it's in this line here. So if you can round this, the more you can round this, I know it's kind of flat, but if you can round it a little bit more, he looks less killer. There you go. You got it, Addie. Yep, you're totally going to get this. Oh my God, you guys are doing great. All right, anybody else want to send it in? Janet, you want to send in what you're looking at, working on? Wonderful session today, you guys. Awesome.
You remind me what the mix for the. I'm sorry, Jessica. I'm making him a little less angry. I think he'll still think he wants to kill me, but
She doesn't want to scare her guest. She doesn't want to scare her guest.
yeah, I also don't want them to think that my cat is trying to kill me. What's
I
the,
think he's so fabulous. I think you should keep it and call it Killer, like Tiled Painting Killer.
Psychopath.
Beware of attack cat.
What was the question, honey?
What was the mix for the eyes again? It was Viridian green.
It's Viridian green, burnt sienna, a touch of yellow, your yellow deep, and then white.
Got it. Thank you.
And then for the shadow part that's down here, less white, more of the burnt sienna and green.
Cool.
So it just gets a little bit darker.
So tomorrow's class is at 11, which is 8 your time, Leah,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Marianne, please come back in and join, because I'd like to see, if you have time, because I'd love to see how you continue to layer in the colors on that doggy.
Yep, I will be there.
Yay!
Oh shit!
Janet, can you be there? You guys did great, by the way. Really, really great.
And
Okay.
Leah, what was the mixture for the nose again?
Yeah, the nose is, let me think. It's a cool red, like a permanent red, or if you have alizarin crimson, that'll work too. Or you know what? You can use your cadmium if you've got it. So it's red, yellow ochre, and a little bit of blue, and then white.
Okay.
So it's really an orange, right? That you mix with your red and your yellow ochre. And then the blue kind of mutes it a little bit to make it more skin colory and less like a jewel toned. Does that make sense? Great work today, by the way. Wonderful work. I love all these. These are great. So what I would ask is, if as you're working on this, you guys, just send it over to me. I've got a meeting at 6, but other than that, I'm in another, 45 minutes. But other than that, I am available to answer your questions. You did great. You did really, really, really great. These are awesome. All right, I'm going to remove the spotlight. I want to take a look at you one more time. Gallery view.
I made mine a little fluffier.
By the way, Marianne, it's so wonderful to see you. We miss you.
Yes.
It's really, really great to see you. And you know what? Painting has missed you. Your paintings have missed you as well.
I missed your whole dopamine,
Yeah. So go ahead and hold up your kitties. Let's take a look. Just hold them up where they are so we can all see. Mine is not done yet. Oh, they're awesome. They are awesome. And hold up your picture, Jessica, so we can see.
Oh, I'm varnishing a painting. So there we go.
Oh, that one. That's lovely. I was
Yeah.
just looking at that. Great. Are you guys pleased with where you got to today? Really, really. This was, as I said, a little too hard to do in 2 hours, but was it worth it to do it? Was it worth it? Okay. I always worry when I can't leave you with a finished painting that I have failed my job, but like, this is like, but I feel like you're all ready to keep going. So, all right, lovies, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya. Don't forget Jessica's perspective lecture next week on Tuesday.
It's friendly.
Friendly perspective. Friendly perspective.
Yes.
I don't like
We'll see
straight lines, Jessica. Just so you know.
Bye.
Bye. I'm trying to end this. Help.